In Toronto, not the result we were looking for, and a very weird start for them. I've even peeked at the map veto. We'll talk about that in a second. That's definitely raising question marks for me. And for Leviathan, it feels like there's a team here that is brimming with potential, and it's still coming together.
I agree. I really think this LEV team has something brewing. I feel like they're maybe one or two little comp switches away or getting to the right maps where a player like Sato and that Yoru can thrive, that they're going to be a force. It feels like right now, those two slots for champs outside of Sen and G2 are pretty open. 100 Thieves are looking really nice right now, but outside of them, I mean, I think it's anyone's game. And LEV picking up mid-season two of the very talented Challengers players who deserve a spot on the VCT could propel them there.
Absolutely. You know, Sato come off the best individual map of any player in VCT Americas last week, that Yoru showing on Bind. So a lot of potential there, even though obviously the series is one that LEV ultimately give away to a newly resurgent Loud team we've been discussing already. Let's talk map veto. The biggest standout to me, White, is MIBR choosing to ban the map they picked last week and promptly got rolled on.
Yeah, they lose to Crew only getting one round. Now first ban their pick. Listen, it's easy to play a map pick ban against MIBR. I'm gonna be honest, you just first ban Icebox because that's MIBR's auto-win map. And with Split out of the pool, I'm not really sure where they're taking things because they're picking into Lotus, which in 2025 they're 2-7 on. So you're hoping that since Toronto times they've made some major progress on that map. Then we're going to sunset the pick of LEV, where we've only seen MIBR lose on in Toronto. The map pool is so awkward for them right now. We don't really know where they're going to thrive outside of Icebox. So today would be a great time to prove to us that they have really made steps forward.
And this is what I was starting to wonder, right? Like we saw Aspas test the waters on Yoru a little bit, and something we were talking about earlier is maybe there's room for Arzine to pick that roll up, play the Yoru, let Aspas move back to something a little bit more natural, a little bit more of a cleaner fit for him. On the Leviathan side, excuse me, they've still got the Killjoy folded in here. Com, of course, on the fade. And your boy Sato going to run out on the raise.
That is very traditional from Leviathan to the extent that they aren't even playing a Vice. They have the KJ. And then I like this from MIBR. I want to see this double duelist, and if they are going to run it, I'd rather see Artzin lock in on this Yoru, really trying to hone his skill set on this agent, because ultimately Aspas is a duelist who wants a lot of supportive utility, is used to having two initiators that are really going to make him the focal point, the star of the team. But two initiators, that is not the world we live in right now. You can't really be running that too effectively. So having that Yoru as basically a pseudo initiator to be the guy that can take point and Aspas can follow up off of him, I think that could work. I think that could be a recipe for success.
Both these teams at 0-1, but their fate's very much still in their hands. We're off to Lotus here, where MIBR start on defense and already popped to try and take some early control of Mound.
And it's LEV on the opposing side of the map, just silently taking some space using the Viper's wall. Artzin out in the open. Of course, does have the teleport to get away and will do so.
Tex here is the early warning system. Cortezia's head goes rolling. Sato here able to pick up the pieces, though, and that is some sharp shooting from the young Brazilian gun. What an addition, already on the board in a big way.
Credit to Tex too. Did a ton of damage, connected more share of shots after that initial headshot. Now Sato, we have, for good reason, been raving about his Yoru. By the numbers, clearly his best agent, but number 2 has been raised, so could definitely see him thrive here.
Arzine here, obviously not faring well early in the round, chunked down to 61 already, and OP is going to be able to finish the job. A great start for Leviathan. They are waiting for MIBR to push them on the C side.
I appreciate Sato just really playing into the narratives that we laid very early, and with good reason, because this kid is the future of Americas, certainly Brazil. I mean, it's cool to see this early on in his VCT career, one of the potential greats of Brazil going up against the GOAT of Brazil, Aspas, in a duelist head-to-head. It just doesn't get better than that. I mean, sick matchup.
And Aspas has taken on many a newcomer from Brazil, right? I want to look back to sort of last year. I mean, we had a lot of different youngster Brazilians sort of come into the scene. I think Parlo's one example, right? QCK was out there trying to get stuff done. Aspas managed to fend off most of those challenges, but he seems in a position where he's definitely looking for where he fits into this MIBR look. We know he's practiced a lot of the Yoru.
Yeah, he was grinding it in rank. That was something that a lot of people were taking note of. But last week, left a bit to be desired with that Haven performance, where ultimately MIBR got a duelist diffed to the max by Kesnet.
And I asked Frod about this in Toronto. I said, like, what do you think about Aspas being able to show that flexibility and move towards Yoru? And he said, I mean, when you have someone like Aspas fall into your lap, you really don't want to try and bend him into like some sort of, new look duelist. You want to really lean on the strengths that he brings in, and he's pretty set, in how he likes to play. That double initiator setup, he really likes a framework of having big entry util to sort of support him. And that's kind of where the baiting rumors came from. That Aspas really like to be sure that he can hit the ground running when he gets into those sites. Here's Sato pushing in towards Baby Door. Verno's able to deal with him with a right click though, but we are well and truly in the post plant, and MIBR are just looking for some exits, folks, as they perish to the blast.
Not the largest of investments from LEV, everybody going to go down. But yeah, I mean, I'm just interested to see how good MIBR can be with Artsin playing on this Yoru, running the double duelist. I mean, it's everything you're speaking to. This just doesn't feel like it's the meta for the team naturally, so they are going to have to force some players to adapt and get on some new roles that were previously their best, but get them to a much higher level now into this first buy bonus attempt from LEV. It's going to be a big fight towards A, looking like.
Yeah, MIB are more than happy to throw down for this. They got both their duelists in the vicinity. Early C's off the rip here. Oki gets forward, TPs. He is very deep now. Hort is dealt with. Burner's already fallen back in towards Baby Dawn. Now that's smoked off. Looks like Aspas rotating back over towards that tree side, but Sato has been plucked out. Artsin able to get off scot-free.
Yep, so taking an early peek towards tree, and now simple, but so effective. Both of those duelists stacked up double. Face, dismantle LEV as they swing around the corner.
We're looking at like that early rubble fight, but we're not dealing with breach neon, right? It's not nearly that level of explosive. MIBR try and fall back bit by bit and sort of maybe try and take picks as they do. Play behind that sort of controller util if they can.
Yeah, and of course you're going to see Artsin being proactive in the way he was, just trying to take early fights, be able to teleport away late. At the very least, Calm would love to be able to take a weapon or two away, with MIBR being fully invested.
Shenom unlikely to serve up anything too easy here.
Left.
So yeah, a lot of the discussion I think on like where MIBR is trending stylistically, I kind of get it as well. Aspas, like we know where his bread is buttered, and Yoru, like you kind of mentioned, has so many of the hallmarks of like an initiator, right? In terms of his ability to gain that information early and sort of, signal things that maybe might not be happening, like faking on a different side of the map and, gate crashing back. And there's a world where like this ends up being a relatively good fit for Artsin, who's kind of been the Swiss Army knife on this team. He's kind of had to do it all.
I mean, I think to the times that he was playing Raze even on Split, when MIBR were playing double duelist early this year, and he was putting up some sick performances, and he was a maniac on that agent. He was going in so aggro, had crazy satchel movement, and then that would just allow Aspas to be that second player coming in on the jet. And as a Yoru, you have so much amazing utility, but then you can also be a point of entry, and Aspas can be that second person in. But so it looks like LEV want to get out towards A again. They're on their full buy now after failing to do much of anything in that bonus round.
Similar look here, same C's thrown out. Actually, a little bit further forward from Verno. Just trying to look to catch Leviathan out. Oki is caught inside of it.
Yeah, he wasn't looking to get quite as deep as he did on the prior round, where he pushed all the way up to the orbit's fast pivot from LEV to get into Mound. Artsin,
somewhat committed,
as always,
get out.
Yeah, just ready to fight, ready to escape as well.
So he's drawn out the C's here from Leviathan, but they are still headed over towards the C side. Actually, Prowler going to get in. There is a vice wall to be concerned about. That's popped up. Now, Sato essentially isolated on that site, but Tex, he's been able to find some inroads here towards B.
Just that standard lurking position from your Sentinel, picking off someone on the B cross when you're going towards C. Plant now going to be thrown down, and I think that should be the headshot angle from Mound as well.
Yeah, it's likely planted for that. MIBR, of course, here really just trying to build their way back into the game. Aspas lingers and is able to find text towards B. That opens up some retake avenues. Looks like it's going to be Waterfall and Halls. Late wrap here from Shen. I don't know if he's going to be involved when he needs to be. And Ardzin and Aspas both get snapped as they try and come out from Waterfall. Still a two-pronged approach here from MIBR, but they're low on numbers here. And Shenham has already lost the element of surprise. Waiting around that corner is going to become tucked here. A little bit of an off angle, but Shenham is able to adjust and find him. Okeano's taken down through the boxes. Now it's on King, but he's healthy. Finds his third. Keeps Leviathan ahead by a nose.
I love the way the LEV were able to fight there together as a unit. They were really proactive with multiple players to take engagements against MIBR when they were trying to get back into that site towards Waterfall. You could just see multiple players facing in this instance exactly. Calm on the high ground, 2 players low swinging out. Just good fundamentals to deal with the MIBR players who were really trying to get back into that site. Ultimately denied. LEV extend the lead, but MIBR on account of winning that prior round, they still have a full buy here.
Gonna leave their approach towards A around this lurk wall has been to try and draw out as much of that early util as possible. And then start probing elsewhere. They pick for Tex on B, also delayed the rotate to C in that post plant. So again, they want to work 2 sides simultaneously.
Aspas getting very close to that showstopper, which is a high-value ultimate on Lotus. Has been an ult that can really dictate the game. It's kind of always been the case. Sato in some potential danger, but sidesteps, gets out of the way. Look at the map control right now for MIBR. That gate crash was just sent out by Ardzin, who's playing at Rebel, so he can stay here for a long time. And they have mound control off of the one-way.
The Viper Wall does come back up here. Clone thrown out. Okay. Well, the paranoia was more than enough to actually take Ardzin out of that Rebel spot.
And even still, yeah, look at the amount of util invested to get rid of him. Aspas fighting now with Ardzin, swinging back in. These are great duels.
But we want to see Aspas tucked here, trying to confuse. Blast pack thrown down, maybe to knock him off trajectory, but he does get brought down. And there's King again, working 2 sides simultaneously. That late lurk towards the B side has been awkward for MIBR to deal with, and it's definitely drawing some attention.
Look at that awareness. Lovely from King.
He's Verno moving up, but up in his face is Sato, waiting for that exact opportunity. And this pretty methodical way of working the map has definitely been in favor of Leviathan. Ardzin did return to A, quick enough to get a kill, but now he's going to salvage the round. Good flash, though. Works through Tex. Another one to get him in, but he isn't aware of the double up over towards Link.
This B side is really getting exposed by lurkers on the buy round. Unfortunate because I think MIBR had some quality play towards A. Ardzin and Aspas on a couple rounds now. We're seeing them in tandem, working well together, swinging off of each other, getting player advantages for the team. But ultimately, it's just not enough. King, solo lurk. And then the awareness that someone would be pushed out of C, given they just never had any control of mound. It's very possible someone's pushed up, ready on the angle for an easy additional kill. That's well played by the IGL of LEV, the certified IGL at this point. There's no more back and forth madness as there was in stage 1.
What a fever dream.
They are just locked in on King at the moment.
There was so much misinformation on the internet
during that stage.
It
was just misinformation.
It felt like the left hand did not know what the right hand was doing. King, though, of course, you know, has worked under a number of different coaches on this Leviathan team for quite some time, and as a caller, we definitely found them find their degree of success. He's often said he's been happy to give up that role, allow someone else to pick it up, but ultimately, he's called on now in a team that skews much younger this stage to step up, take that veteran role.
I'm trying to think if we've ever had a time period like this in VCT in the past for Americas where the mid-season just brought in so many new talented players, but I think it's kind of just happenstance that so many of the upcoming stars were all born midway between the 2 stages and all turned 18 at like the same time, so they were eligible to play. I think it's just
that mid-year
kind of randomness, but
that's a good point.
It's resulted in a pretty crazy stage too.
Oh, nicely done by Shen on their Guardians, allowing him to kick off beautifully. TP away from the action as the paint shells came in. And that's what you want to see, is what was a part of MIBR's success in those first couple of rounds. Take early presence, get a kill, fall back with that Yoru or Omen mobility.
Now, in the meantime, Texas taking a fair bit of space towards A that the team can use to press forward, meet up with him. They are on that rotate right now. Got to feel a little dangerous for him, exposed to a couple angles, but
no gate crash up here.
Now, Prowler is going to get the information through Tree. LEV acting like they could be ready to push on to A right now, but they are so spread across the map. This is a mental alert to be taken with the Outlaw.
He's so far forward.
It's crazy.
And he's heard, like, maybe a couple of pairs of feet here up towards upper A, but he won't be aware of the timing to the flank. He needs to find another. Tex is not getting out of that alive. Shenom turns up at just the right moment, but this leaves C extremely exposed. There's a delay here, though, because all of LEV have to group up to trigger this,
30 seconds left.
This Vice Wall together, and the Spike's out of the site currently.
This is a bad buy for MIBR, but they've got a real shot at winning this out.
They are here early enough, though, as the rotates are still only coming through from halls, and they're all grouped up. King looks to turn the flash Prowler, follow it up. It's going to be Sato with some more sharp shooting there from Waterfall. Now, it's all for one direction, and it's a face-up play for MIBR as the Nightfall pings two at least of them out here in halls.
They got all three. That was perfectly placed. And now there's a late wrap from one player. Verno trying to get back to Waterfall. LEV have gotten themselves into a great position.
King's waiting for this. Fort comes through. Paranoia followed it up. Sato timed with the blast pack here. It's King up close and personal, and Verno doesn't have enough time to react. Com will plant his feet here on the spike. Just Com, and that's all it takes. Leviathan extend their lead to 4.
Excellent adjustment from Com in the clutch. I mean, credit to MIBR for making it so close. It was a dangerous round. But I think, again, some situations there that highlight LEV's ability so far in this map to be able to find kills when they need the most with either an individual taking a good timing to isolate a fight like Sato there in Waterfall, or I'm thinking of, you know, King on that lurk on a, on a prior round. Like they are finding good opportunities to get kills and even things up, you know, taking small but necessary risks.
I was wondering if it would be more proactive flood here out into rubble for Leviathan, but again, they respect the C's threat and, of course, the raise nades. I think King might have been shown popping up there. Here comes a showstopper. Raspas looking to clear. Sato knocked off his perch, but Com's able to find the trade.
Yeah, in the meantime, though, Artson was forced to teleport away. LEV do have to commit a lot to get him to do so. Again, it was a paranoia with a molly to get him out of there, but it does isolate Aspas, so 1 for 1, showstopper removed. They'll feel content about that,
Good
LEV.
enough.
Yeah, absolutely, and now it's a full pivot back towards the C side.
We've seen this a number of times, right? The rotates are getting pulled off C pretty easily, and with a Viper's Pit post-plant setup here for Leviathan, they do want a clean side to walk up on.
Flash is going to get popped for some information, and you can see that dragging Verno over towards Waterfall.
Oh, look at the quick rotate coming in here. So Verno's trying to get there, up on that C side. Lockdown, but Vice Wall, of course, will delay for a moment.
Verno is fully committing to this right now.
He's going to get
stuck. They don't expect it.
Not too bad. 2 kills. That's something to work with. Artazine does not want to commit in the same fashion. Happy enough that Leviathan have been cut down to 2 players. Tokianos and Tex. And it might be our 3 to work with. I don't hate the idea of Tex trying to get ahead of the curve. Like that harebrained push upstairs last round. It doesn't work out. It's onto the newcomer here to salvage.
It shouldn't really be possible. This should be easy for MIBR to close out, and that is the case. Artzin sprays him down, and MIBR able to deal with that lockdown play. And by MIBR, I mean that's just Verno taking a big risk. But we see that from players. They like to take timing sometimes with the lockdown where you just don't expect them to be pressed up in some kind of odd off angle. Verno had a bit of a struggle week 1. But so far, he's had some crucial plays this one.
Nice,
yeah, the spacing there hurts. Leviathan, of course, their swing width is the same, so Verno can line them up. Like that variation.
Yeah, because of all that damage, the round before that one, where MIBR were pretty much just on a half-buy save themselves, LEV economy is cracked outside of this one hero rifle on Oki.
Oki tucked here, sees the C's come past him. Swing, but Aspas is ready for it. Makes the adjustment. Now, of course, with very little but these sheriffs to work with, you'd think this would be dire straits for Leviathan, but Com is able to fell Artazine. Verno, again, just salivating for a chance to throw down.
MIBR, they would love to get a clean round here. There's just been no point for them in the game where their economy has gotten off the ground.
All right, once again, Shenom can get away from this utility. And that late lurk that Levitan always looking for in these rounds. Doesn't quite hit the same with these squeaky by. Shenom chomped on there by the Prowler, looking to try and get towards the back of the site, but he'll have the support of Cortezia, someone who we haven't really had a chance to talk about too much in this game. A real high flyer in his debut in Stage 1.
Yeah, he was on a serious run coming into the year.
I think he was topping VCT in headshot percentage at one point.
And that would make sense.
Yep.
Coming into the year, I remember we did some who would your rookie of the year be? Like prediction kind of thing. Yeah, and I know Mimi said Cortezia, and it makes sense. Like a lot of people expect him to be a standout rookie of the year, and has been. I mean, this MIBR little fall-off period has really been pretty small compared to the rest of the year, which has been nothing but success. New team come out in kickoff, they get 3rd place, Stage 1, 3rd place, qualify for Masters with a team of full with rookies that Ospos put together. It was all smooth sailing, and man, we've just swung the pendulum to the doomer zone after
the honeymoon period has never been more over.
Oh, absolutely.
That is safe to say.
Oh, we've seen this with plenty of teams in the past.
Yep.
They have that initial run where everything is going so right, and then for the first time, they experience a downturn. And then it's just about, does this roster have what it takes as, you know, teammates and even mentally to just bring things back together, even outside of the game. This is the first major test as a team that MIBR have faced, overcoming that tragic showing at Toronto, coming back. Decent game week 1, but, you know, not enough to actually get them over the finish line.
I think something that Levitan are struggling with is that tandem play between Arzin and Aspas early in these rounds. They're trying to be pretty tentative, Lev, about how they test that A side of the map, but look, I mean, we talked about MIBR being more of a double initiator team. It was like their go-to look, but as they take up a double duelist look on this map with Arzin on the Yoru, this is flowing a lot better for them here. 2 rounds back-to-back with Verno, of course, interrupting that streak from Leviathan, and now looking like they're in this game properly.
I mean, hell, they were even getting advantages from MIBR on some of the early rounds that they lost, just because Lev had some really great individual mid-late round play. All right, let's see, out of the timeout. Might be something of an early engagement towards Mound. That dark cover thrown pretty deep indicates that MIBR may have wanted to push forward, take some space, but it's not going to be the case.
Mount control assumed for Leviathan. Tough to tease out the vice wall here when there's actually players watching it. So Shenom probably jiggling that corner, sets up a smoke. Sato might look to chance it. He's thinking about it, trying to get his jump length calibrated. Pretty uncanny timing there, as Shenom will be just overlooking that dark cover as it clears. Elsewhere, that late lurk towards B we've seen from Levitan could be interrupted here because Arzin for free can post up here and maybe gate crash out. He's got the op as well to play against contact, and I think Sato tried to tease that wall out, but out in the open, it's risky business.
Unable to deal with it, and you called it out. Arzin had just been patiently waiting towards B the entire round with the op out of the timeout, just throwing something new into the mix.
But that's all it has been, right? It's been a quiet contact from, you know, either Tex or, you know, Com, for example, or King, excuse me, testing that B side. So it feels like the op on that angle is just a very reasonable antidote to that.
30 seconds
yeah, 100%. That is a really good call for the adjustment. This round is good as done. I mean, at least for Lev into the next, they do still have some ults to work with. If they can fight for one of those orbs early, get it onto Sato towards Mound perhaps, get that showstopper to open up one of the sites. Dealing with this Vice has just been a nightmare. I mean, Vice, to me, has really defined this map in 2025. She's been so strong here, which is why it's surprising to see a comp so traditional that you're bringing the KJ into the mix.
And also, like, there's a lot of incentive to play Yoru as someone who can tease the wall out for free, right, with a clone. Just throw a clone into C main and obviously sort of, you know, draw that out. Obviously not in the wheelhouse here, and I like this a lot from Arzin. Nice little tight angle. And again, playing what I felt as a duelist when he first came onto this squad, pretty restrained style. We were constantly comparing him to Aspas, like straight off the rip. You know, like what to expect from them. When they play Leviathan, we're like, okay, here it is. You know, your old versus new, the same bloody narrative we're peddling out in this game. But Arzin was quieter, a bit more methodical, and not as like flashy a player. But I think here on Yoru, it suits him.
Bruno throwing that deep haunt, not going to ping anyone out. LEV are very stacked up to fight towards B main. They have Tex with the AWP, so they're trying to get him some kind of opening engagement. Not going to come. Dangerous for Cortezia on that jump. Ignite fall going to connect onto one, but Sato just failed early again, 2 rounds in a row.
Bruno just seems to be ahead of it there. A bit of a weird off angle out in the opening. He's going to be blinded up. And the Steel Garden should be enough to quell any aggression, but Com is caught on the wrong side of the Vice wall. Fortunately, he's able to yeet the spike back over it just in time.
Oh, but Artsin picks up the angle that Tex wants to re-peek on. All right, Oki does get 1 trade, so reasonable enough that LEV could try to claw their way back into this round. Double high-low setup is really nice, though, from MIBR if LEV try to walk in.
Shadow flank from upper now. Just a bit of an attempt at a double swing. Omen TP. Oki trying to see what's good at A. And he's going to draw some attention over here. MIBR not quite convinced yet, but Okeanos is serious about this, folks. Get that plant down. At least King is still alive, so can work this Viper wall. And look at these, drawn 2 players over, but I like the read from MIBR. Deal with the late flank Viper first, if you can. But King, tough to topple. And that has really flipped the script on this round. It's on Artsin.
It's got to be so frustrating for MIBR, but with King getting exposed there, Artsin could clutch things up. This is a round it feels like they should have won. Maybe he can make that a reality.
Artsin sticks it. Big fight here for Okeanos, and Artsin too clean with it up to 12 and 6 now. And bails MIBR out of what would have been a compromising situation. But now, after 10 rounds, it's an even Lotus.
Certainly did not seem like that should have come down to a clutch, given that they had the read on King's reposition coming through.
Yeah,
I'd be
1v2
furious for absolutely no good reason. There have been some major heroics from LEV players in mid-late rounds that have gotten them out to a lead. I was about to make that point and for further favor of LEV because I expected them to win it from there. Credit to Artsin, he is having a really sick performance right now on the Yoru.
Crazy, yeah. I mean, this is not a permutation from MIBR that we've seen yet. We also thought the map pool was heavily favoring Leviathan based on what MIBR have shown on Lotus so far this year, but this is good looks. 5 and 5.
Yeah, this is, bear in mind, a map that MIBR are 2 and 7 on overall in 2025. It's their pick here. And hey, we're seeing why. They made a lot of progress. Sato now with the showstopper wants to go first.
Leviathan bustling about, and Artsin transfixed in place there as the showstopper came in. There'll be some stall here from the Razor Vine, so allow Shenum to try and set up here for stairs. The Spike, though, is committed towards his A side of the map. It is where LEV want to end. Cortezia gets his pound of flesh and eventually has to bow out of the round, and that's an interrupted Spike plant, but King's able to find a trade, pushing up in that stairs direction. And now MIBR starting to get shut off the site, and there's that post-plant Viper's Pit we were looking for.
Yeah, Verno tries to time and get in early, but King is too ready. Ospas with that first kill, taking a lot of decay at the moment, though low on HP. Spike planted for the remaining 2 LEV players. It should be easy for them to win this out, but it is the GOAT in the 1v2.
Ospas dipping in and out. Eventually, though, just has to tap it. Right now, LEV just trying to diligently make sure he's not skirting around the edges of this pit. And that's about that. Ospas really not in a position to do much about this. That snakebite forces him off. He'll step up again, but now he has to be pretty committed about this. The Viper's Pit does fall, as does Ospas.
Well done on that hit. It looked like Artsin just didn't have the reaction to teleport away in time, so that rocket from Sato does connect onto him initially. I didn't want to see this on the replay again.
He looks like he lost a round of freeze tag.
Oh man, Fraud is somewhat dissatisfied with what happened in that round. I don't blame him, but trades from LEV are good.
You are
I mean, I don't know if anyone
I
don't know if anyone individually went crazy enough for that reaction. Like, did I miss something in that round? But hey,
listen,
I respect it.
King is his lane.
Keep him hyped up. Keep him hyped up. Respect.
Yeah, bring that energy. All right, Ospas. Nothing from the showstopper. Well, not enough at least. Okeanos still standing. Able to dodge the C's. Very, very low in this round, but of course still wants to dispense as much of this controller utility as possible. LEV not probing. Usually they probe this A and then back out, but they are sticking around.
That might be our are not wanting to fight things too heavily. The Yoru is positioned with the AWP towards B, so there's no one that can really take point, get an easy escape. So they will acquiesce the space and re-clear late with a Prowler.
Look at the conditioning from the late lurk, though, on MIBR. Maintaining always like 2 players towards that B side of the map, now even more. That's also like, that's the locus of their defensive movements here. This time, LEV, though, just have Tex watching that line passively for someone to push out. We'll see if that really pays off, because we are getting low in time. But because King is positioned up here by Rubble, no one from MIBR has been able to get that far forward. So LEV can have some more peace of mind about going A again.
MIBR have the perfect read on the situation. They have rotated and beat LEV to this site. Time has dwindled significantly.
Oh,
good
what?
Opener from Sato, though. Mental shot.
Genom might have to go big here.
There's still only 15 seconds, and
Cloud9,
MIBR
hello?
are there.
All right, wall
Pivot
comes
to
up,
B.
and here's the pivot over towards B. Makes sense, but Cortezia is tucked in the corner and has to reveal himself in order to get rid of Tex. Oki now activates over towards the A side of the map. Cortezia finding a second, though, down to 33. Spike does get stuck, and King's going to stand tall now as Aspas has to peer around the corner, but the spacing, the timing's not there, and King does it yet again. Massive clutch to derail things for MIBR. And at the end of the half, LEV get ahead by 2.
The heroics from King on that half were pretty mental from start to finish. Lurking kills, multi-kills. They ran the clock down really low. Cortezia's positioning was perfect to take, full advantage of the low time as well. It looked like what he did should have been enough to win it out. Crazy.
I mean, come on.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
This guy seems like a great time, honestly. King's like, yo, don't even mention it. And that's a fantastic performance from IGL. 15-5 is King. Leviathan ahead by 2. We'll head to a break and come back with your second half of Lotus.
Red Bull gives you wings.
I've been in motion, whole lot of wins, I've been in focus. Whole lot of hate, I wanna doubt the boys, but nah, they gotta be joking. Know you seen them on a rise, know you seen them on a sign. It's a movie in real life, it's real life televised. Check the wrist, big time, big play, gotta hit the rewind. Who you got? Pick a side, rockstar lifestyle certified. Wins, all I know, we gon' hit it. Toe-to-toe, let's see who wins. Wins, all I know. You looking at the goal for real. Wins.
A ton of intertwining storylines, some that intersect in this matchup between Leviathan and MIBR in the first half of Lotus has been a pretty solid affair from both sides. Artazine standing up on the Oru role here for MIBR. But it's been King for Leviathan with multiple multi-kills in extremely tight positions that have kept Lev ahead of the curve. But MIBR, 5 defense side rounds. Got to feel okay about that. Still looking maybe to see Aspas really activate on this raise, but so far, not too bad.
No, not at all. And I'm pretty sure if you're shopping at the Trader Joe's down the block, you can hear Sato screaming from the Riot Games arena. He's going crazy. I mean, he's making me think that there's some player hitting a multi-kill snap headshot every round. He's going nuts, yeah. But I like the energy.
Yes, I'm about it.
I like the energy.
MIBR here, pretty restrained start to the pistol, in contrast of Lev's open it at the beginning of this game. Unseen just trying to pull some attention and a frag. It's King as well, the Spectre that's been hanging over MIBR in so many of those late rounds in the first half. They're now adjusting over towards this B side of the map, but there is definitely an opening that's been made.
Taking their time, working back towards Mound as Artzin presses forward towards Rubble, and Calm gets the info off of the jiggle spot. But Leviathan have a good read on the situation. 3 players are ready to go on C, steadfast in the sight for when the hit comes through.
And they go, remember, no Vice for Leviathan's defense side. It is going to be the KJ for Tex. Bit of a pivot towards the B side. This is pretty lightly held here. It's going to be calling Com over to intervene, but he has to double check that this isn't a bait for an A play. And he's hit with the paranoia. That is going to slow him right up, and all of Leviathan have to play from Link here. Tex Emergence finds his first, but Veto doubles down on the side. It's Okeanos, though, getting his 2 and looking for more. Very, very low, and the sole player left, Artazine, puts him to bed. And MIBR bouncing across the map, find solace at B.
Yeah, both teams had some pretty solid pivots. Lev getting to C, ready to stop that hit if it came through, and then MIBR working their way back into B quickly. They had good util to deny a potential flood. You saw the nades thrown forward from Aspas. I believe there was a paranoia as well. It was well played to get into the site. And then from Lev, using what util they had to swing back in, there was that haunt that came up from Com, so when crosshairs were turned towards Baby Door side, the 3 players do swing in.
Nice.
Some good little micro plays, but ultimately Artzin winning out those duels, finding the man advantage, was the catalyst to the win for MIBR. He has been on fire today.
Leviathan looking to simply contain the A-side aggression. He sees out from the door here. Shedom ready for him though, and the ghost sings out. Sato, loud as he's been, is able to find Artzin. It is left down to 2 players with nothing but the classics to work with. Tex shows himself, some sharp shooting, of course, from the man. Okeanos doesn't really have much way of intervening. Looking for an odd timing out of the smoke here, but Aspas is playing, of course, that loose end over towards Rubble. And that ghost does not have enough bullets in it, sir.
Will be shut down by Aspas. Let go for a pretty cool combo play there. Opening the door. In the meantime, they then throw that paranoia out with the nade back Rubble. They all swing past. Fight when the wall drops. Cool idea. Respect it, but ultimately, I mean, look, they just have the classics, but they try to make the most of it with a nice little set piece. Nets a couple kills. Now MIBR on the bonus by Outlaw for Cortezia. Only 1 potential target to 1 shot. Com, who's already picked up the Odin, of course, he is a specialist with that weapon. When it comes to being a scan initiator and shooting people through walls with a high bullet pen gun, Com is your man. He is the one to cheese you out with kills.
Just imagine if we got Corrode in this series, it would be diabolical. Verno steps back here. This time, Leviathan, of course, don't go for a particular set play. They've got the weapons to really, hold their own. So again, they contain. They stave MIBR off and force this squad now to find another way in.
It really is like nightmare map rotation if you're going up against Com. Ascent, Corrode, Lotus. It's so good.
Whoa, the second shot is what does him in there. Tex down through the wall. Cortezia with the Outlaw in hand. Softens C up.
Yeah, accelerating into the side. King even spotted by that haunt. Some good utility coming forward. Wants to anchor this hard though.
Yeah, no, you've really got to have a white knuckle grip on the mouse in situations like this. And King gets his kill and gets off the site safely. Sato now sets up. But Leviathan still want to play more of that retake approach here. Allowing MIBR in.
30 seconds left.
30 seconds left. This plant still hasn't gone down. No nade for Sato to deny it, however.
Oki jiggling.
They want to bait out util. They want to bait out some swings, but they're not going to come. Spike drop has to be recovered. Time is getting so low.
Aspas has the plant. That's not where they want to be at all. And he's trying to dance a headshot angle. And he's handled. Leviathan back in the game here. Finally, once they get those guns in hand, you better believe Sato is popping off as we speak.
The whole squad just really held their nerve when it came to MIBR trying to tap, bait out some util coming through, swings coming through. They never came. That was just Lev allowing the clock to reduce to nothing, and eventually Cortezia got a little anxious, takes a peek forward, caught by King, who's up to 17.
After 16 rounds. That's a classic King performance. We see these sprinkled in over the last couple of VCT seasons.
Look at Artzin's just aware of the economy. He's bought into the Outlaw purposefully here. Players that he could one-shot.
That has been heard, though.
Forced to get out of there, yeah. And I like this as well from, look at Oki. Immediately off, knowing that Artzin had to teleport away, takes the space Rubble.
Yep, beautifully done. King as well just bangs Cortezia out over on B. And again, not quite Vice level, but a good stall util available to Tex on the Killjoy. Nano Swarm will force MIBR to reconsider that C push. Space being taken all across the map. Oki now asking for more on A. It's going to be a little bit uncomfortable for MIBR if they try and get out here.
We'll have Calm to assist him at some point if necessary.
Got TP away here.
Yeah, has to run. Wall comes up. He is out of there.
Okay, no harm, no foul for Okeanos. Not able to find a kill, but a ton of information, and our time is running a little on the short side for MIBR to decide.
It draws out a lot of util. There's nothing left for Verna to play with in that regard. Artson still inserted here. Shenum has been chilling over towards the C side where they're going to pivot back. Artson teleports away. They've drawn the LEV players away from C temporarily, but they're now working their way back. Again, time is so low. There's 18 seconds. Molly at the choke. Aspas isolated. Oh, no.
Oh, you hate it. Normally you like your own brand, but that's not what Aspas was looking for there. And it's King to step up once more. Heavy's the head that wears the crown, but his has the chin up. Artazine, what do you do? Sit and wait and hold on to that outlaw, buddy. Some brutal stuff over the last couple of rounds, and a very inauspicious entrance for Aspas, to say the least.
I'm going to need to see that again, but I think got vulnerable up by...
Someone hit him mid-air. Could have been the Nanoswarm as well. There was one in his way. Yeah, just a tickle of it. Yep.
Sorry, was that his own?
Yep.
Viper's Molly, it showed on the kill feed. Is that a weird thing because he eventually naded himself? I don't, regardless, unlucky, got vulnerable, jumped into his own nade. They lose the round, their economy's broken. That's tough, man. That's real tough.
But again, like, starts with Oki, like, getting really good positioning on the A side. Wasn't a kill involved in that exchange, but Artazine was forced off of A entirely. And he got to creep up, get tons of info.
Yeah, the clock has been pretty much reduced to 0 when MIBR have been in situations that they're being forced to plant. That was Okeanos actually with the Odin. Force Artazine away with the Paranoia.
Okay, right over to the other side of the map. Maybe not where Artazine was hoping to be, but at least he can start to work that C side a little bit. It kind of signals to MIBR that obviously their most potent weapon is away from the rest of their team. And they just go trying to pull at threads here, hoping they can untangle the sweater. Bot, Nanoswarm. Off you go.
The rest of MIBR pivoting towards B main, where there is a Molly waiting for them. Sato as well, just fighting that through baby door rotations coming in from LEV across the map.
Oh, Tex!
Random spam, the door opens, they're just stuck.
That was beautiful util coming out there from Com. Sets that on up so easily. Tex can spray those very low health targets down. Shannon here shows a bit of leg.
10 seconds left.
Oki from off screen. It's like the shepherd's crook just yoinks him out of the round. Thought to Zia. What to do?
Nothing. Not a whole lot. Tex gets 4 on the round, has the lockdown. King is 1 away from the pit. The economy is crazy. They're winning flawless rounds.
Look at this.
Yeah, it's the perfect C's, hits, and random spam. Love to see that. Hey, Riv.
All right, Tex.
The script says Riv has joined us for a sideline report, Mitch. Riv, what do you have to say?
Yeah, how about that? How about that? So I think we're all coming into this game very interested, knowing Artazine and Verno are now doing co-IGLing. Throughout kind of the halftime there, we heard Fraud talking quite a bit, and right after Fraud stopped, Verno was the only voice to call a strat. The middle of the round is becoming more communal from the team, which you can see Artazine and Verno still being the spearhead of the calls. But the following rounds as well, Verno was then asking for things. Can I get this here? You do this, and can you do that? The answers were yes. Like, Verno is calling at the beginning of the round, and it's flowing into the rest of the team. So let's see how they can continue against Leviathan here.
Thanks, Riv, getting some of those insights from the comms. Yeah, I mean, is it though? Because this honestly is consistent with the descriptions of Verno's impact on this MIBR team in stage 1. Now maybe just unleashed a little bit more.
Yeah, I think it's unexpected, just more from the narrative sense, less than the gameplay. I mean, it's just Verno's arc this year is crazy, is what I'm getting at. He has now worked his way into becoming the leader of the Brazilian squad. It's got a crazy character arc. How have we ended up here?
Honestly, just really impressive to see a young player, you know, shoulder that level of responsibility, right? And sort of leading the team forward. Doesn't pay off in this next round. Shannon chunked a little bit by that paint shell that came through. Sato aware that Artezine is lurking, lingering, hanging over him like a Damascene sword. It wants to appear here, but he's got flat. Okeanos handled him.
Oh wow, Nightfall connects onto multiple players, and Aspas is going for the flag, but King aware at all times when someone is pushing behind.
How many games has King got alongside Aspas? He had a sixth sense for that moment. Sorry, bro, he says, I've seen that one before. Verno, there's no one to ask to support him here. No orders to rattle off. And Okeanos puts it to bed. That is 2 flawless rounds back-to-back as Leviathan have undoubtedly broken the spirit and economic foundations of MIBR.
That is, out of the timeout, MIBR ripping that Yoru ult to get into the A side, and they tried to combo with the Nightfall to, you know, obviously deny the audio so then Artezine can get out. And in the meantime, they had Aspas double satchel through stairs.
Just FM. Oh my God.
And then it's just King healing that double satchel over from the B side. It gets an easy catch onto Aspas. Artezine teleports out into the open. It's caught, or rather gets out of the all. That's rough.
Look where King's standing here, back in halls, just waiting for any sort of cue of where the action might be coming from. Viper's pinned up for the IGL of LEV. Now, very quickly, MIBR just trying to clear this architecture.
That turret just chunks Aspas down to half HP. Unlucky.
It's not a great look.
A lockdown coming through. Can MIBR actually get proactive and break this?
I mean, Tex is going to hold his ground here. And you might pave the way here for some of that post-plant util setup. That's going to be cleared out, though. Aspas running into upper. Sato waiting around the corner for the frenzied superstar of yore to handle him, but it's a young blood that gets the upper hand. Sato can't handle Cortezia, though, following him up, and it's Shenom laying it down. He's at Steel Garden.
Bring them down.
Com playing well and truly off this B side, but of course always a threat with the Odin. Sees and Horn, knows Artezine's there, and he just flattens him. Oh, here for Oki, that is dirty. Cortezia 8 health, but honestly has bled this clock more than enough as Com is going to have to walk away and recoup.
Cortezia played that round in pretty lovely fashion. Really, the team overall, I like the pathing that they took over on B there. They were able to deal with the lockdown effectively. They pressed forward, get the nade onto that. It was, you comboed with the C's as well in case anyone was playing close. Maybe Tex was still kind of tucked near it. Wasn't the case, but they break that and then immediate pivot from Aspas, Cortezia to fight up into heaven. They go 1-for-1. Now Cortezia has taken space, sets up a new crossfire, and has the Vice ult up there, rips that. That was some nice pathing from the team. Pretty impressive stuff on a must-win round.
Zato's taking up the operator in this round. He's also got a showstopper in reserve. It might be like what they saw at B last round, though. Might be looking to test it again. Yeah, paint shells here. King quickly, given the hot foot, has to back off that. Pinged out as well. Artezine lurks in that smoke, and King is not ready for it. Far more advanced than he was expecting. And the op here for Sato looks a bit uncomfortable, so he's traded. Getting himself a better weapon for the situation. And Artezine down to the splash damage off that showstopper. Okeanos has intervened at some really important timings over the last couple of rounds. That one, no exception. Now Sato has to work an off angle. Okeanos is low. Gonna smoke things up a little bit now. Some info off an Omen ult here. Tex headshot instantly. Can't get much more done, but Sato here looking for a pop-up move for the young bloke. Gets on this spike, takes Cortezia out of the round, and with 3 health, Oki is able to land the plane.
MIBR, they just want to keep things simple. Slam B again. Some good fighting forward from Artezine. A little unfortunate that he flashes himself when pushing through, but even still, he gets this initial kill. LEV then really bide their time getting back in with the 3 players in this moment where Oki was towards Baby Door. Sato eventually pushes in at the same time as Tex. When the dark cover cycles back up for Oki, that was really nice, patient, and then just everything executed with the perfect timings, and Sato connects the shots.
Exactly what Leviathan were looking for there.
They are looking good.
Now, of course, against the Stinger Rush, you might be in decent shape with his Op and Outlaw. Let's run B again, folks. Classic VCT Americas look here now from MIBR. King mindful of the Omen TP in behind, but Artazine is well ahead of the rest of the team.
Yeah, caught in the snake bite, vulnerable up. And now an attempt to pivot to C from MIBR. They're going to get into the site. Tex in the back does get hit by that paranoia, so will be temporarily routed, but this can just be a full 5-on-4 retake with a significant gun advantage.
So much to work with here. Sato, though, eventually has to concede. Off that line for the time being. A big group here over towards Halls for Leviathan. They know they're going to have to get their hands dirty to close the map out here. It's a little bit risky, dangerous going into this myriad crossfire setup. To those two Razorvines getting thrown out there. Tex for Sato, that's the trade. Oh, nicely done. Tex doesn't move, holds his ground, and it's all on Verno. Getting involved in the comms, leading the charge for MIBR. On the fragging front, though, it's been a quieter map for him. Now has to handle the 3 Leviathan players, and it's not to be. Another 3K for King. 25 frags for the game. And Leviathan close out Lotus.
King was just a menace on that map. I think MIBR should have had more rounds on defense. That's where they looked their best. The attack, a little uninspired. But Artson and Ospas as a duo, I thought were really controlling the map on D, but it just ended up not mattering on several rounds when King, late into it, finds some crucial kill or a multi-kill at the end of the round to win it out for LEV. They've stolen away MIBR's map pick. He put on a show.
Honestly, Leviathan come out with a comp about as old as a Times New Roman font on the back of their jerseys. Like, pretty classic look.